and this is the V1100 series from Harbinger. This is the 12-inch, that's the 15-inch. We're going to talk about the differences, which are very small. The big real difference is where you're going to use it, the environment that you're going to want to buy one speaker over the other speaker, because you are going to be asked to spend $50 more on this side or thereabouts. Trust me, this is the time of making the video. Don't quote me on it if it's only $30 or if it's $60. Who knows? You're going to need to click on the link. But the speaker is very important because even though the only difference besides the size, of course, and the overall features in the back, which are identical, is 1 dB. What? I'm going to spend more money, carry around a bigger box for 1 dB. That's not why you're buying it. You're buying it because you're going to use it in larger, more open spaces. And you're going to want a speaker that carries a little further and sounds a little better at between, let's say, 24 to 36 feet. If I was to give this one a number, I'm going to say 12 to 24 feet, and then it starts to taper off. This one's going to get you 24 to 36 feet before tapering off. The 12-inch will sound better, tighter bass response if you use it as a monitor up close, or if you're just within proximity. So if you're 12 feet away, this just sounds nicer. For some particular reason, we tend to favor that 12, and the tweeter on top is actually close to the center by design. The 12-inch instead of 15, it's going to be closer. Then we look over at the 15-inch speaker, and we're going, okay, what's the scenario? You're saying it sounds better further away. Up close, this one sounds bassier or tighter, that sort of sound. This one, when you get about 20 feet away, it sounds tighter and bassier than this guy. It's just magic. It's physics. It requires an engineer to explain it all. But that's how this works. That's why when you go into a concert, they have like a whole array of speakers working in unison to create that effect to carry even to a larger space. But if you're just asking one point of source speaker, that's what these guys are, to do the job, a 12 is going to sound better than a 10 at 24 feet. And at 36 feet, a 15 is going to sound better than a 12. It's just physics. We're pushing more air across the room because this is the air that generates the bass, and that means we're pushing large waves of that air across the space. The tweeter is working on a tighter path, and it's easier to cut through and push that air in a tighter frequency band across to you. So that's the difference. That's why we can use the same tweeter, but we do need to improve the size of the woofer or how much square inch space we have for our bass drivers. Ta-da! Let's run through some scenarios that you could think of that this would be good for. A rehearsal space, I'd use this guy. Backyard of my house, I would use the 15-inch. Garage band, I would use the 12-inch. Big rec room downstairs in the house, I would use the 15s. If I plan on going and doing a church basement, that sort of thing, I'd probably go with the 15s. If I'm going to do a practice room at the church, I'd like 12s. That's how you have to start thinking about which speaker you'd like to use. Because which speaker would you use the most often in the space that you would use it in properly? So if you're going big all the time, large open spaces, you're going to need something for the park, the parking lot, the open air garage, the backyard, that sort of thing. You're taking it out. If I'm using it in a barn, notice I'm mentioning a lot of things that have nothing to do with using it as for a band. Because these are for fun and for free use. So yes, I'd use it at a church fair. I would use it at a park fair. I would use it anywhere where I'm going to do stuff for fun and for free. And a lot of times you're going to see people who buy these for work. So maybe and I'm not talking a bar or restaurant. I'm talking about people that have shops. People that have, they do welding and work with steel and all this kind of stuff. They need music in the background. They want something playing while they're working. They're going to get this. If you're getting it for your workspace, your 12 by 12 workspace, get this guy. If you're getting it for the shop, get that guy. That's how you start thinking about it. If you're buying it for a garage, again, your space, the garage. If you're buying it for a gym, a lot of these speakers get bought for gyms, for working out. If you're going to start working around the whole gym, you're going to be buying multiples of these guys because you're going to put them up high for the whole gym. If they're going to be in, let's say, a part where they only do the aerobics or anything where it's at a private classroom, get a couple of these guys. I've done that many times. So you feel like you're starting to get the idea? That's great. Let's take a look at the back and see exactly two of the exact same speakers, and then we'll take a listen to the 15s, because I have a video. I'll throw a link up for it at the end, so this way you can watch this guy if you want to see the 12 in action. But for this video, we're going to do this guy right here. We're going to have that on the back wall so you can listen to it. Let's take a quick look at the back though, so we cover all the features if you're not familiar with how the V1115 works. So let's have a general look at both speakers. Since they're side by side, let's do that. They're exactly the same. Both amp plates are the same. Everything you need to know about one is on the other. Now, let's take a closer look at the features that you're going to find on the actual V1115. So here we are, starting at the top. Here's our inputs, here's our switches, here's everything you need to know about what you're going to find in the back of a speaker like this. This is called a combo jack. Combo jack means that you get the 3 little pins for an XLR cable and the hole in the middle for a 1/4 inch. So again, that means you're going to be able to use a XLR cable, if you're not familiar with that, in here, because that's why the 3 little holes. And you'll also be able to use a 1/4 inch cable. So that'll fit right in the center, just like that. No problem. See, fits in that hole there. And the XLR cable, this guy here, fits wrapping around those 3 pins right there. So there you go. That's how a combo jack works. Because it's an actual speaker, and this happens to be a very nice speaker that has a switch between microphone and line, it makes life very convenient. You can use either cable and decide if it's going to be a microphone, which is always going to be a microphone. So you'll always be talking about a microphone here. And if it's not a microphone, if it's anything else, 9 times out of 10, it's definitely a line input. Now, if you plug anything in besides a microphone and put it on microphone, it will sound louder. The speaker will sound louder. The quality of the sound will go down. The volume will go up. You don't want to do that though, because you're going to be putting a lot of stress on the preamp in the speaker. You're definitely going to want to run it in line. No microphone, no mic option, line. Now, you'll notice that this one here happens to be at 25%. So that's off. That's 25%. I find with the speakers, my negative thought here is that the preamp generates a little bit more hiss than the amplifier does. So because I'll use it on a mixer, I'll keep the actual preamp level here down and bring it up on the mixer, and then bring this up as loud as I need it to be for the room. I don't want to sacrifice room on my mixer, meaning the slider up on the mixer, to just have this dial up higher. If I can leave this 25% and have my mixer at unity and make the entire system sound great, that's what it's going to be. I'm not going to have my mixer at only 50% and have the actual speaker at 50% and say, well, I'll just keep the mixer down. Nah, you're going to have a little bit more hissing if you do that, and you're really going to have to remember what your mixer settings are for that particular venue. So definitely start at 25, adjust your mixer to unity, then turn up the speaker according to the room size and the overall volume you're going to need. They do give you 2 lights. Of course, those lights are quite obvious. That's a power light and that's a limit light. Limit is when you've hit the maximum amount of volume that this speaker can handle, regardless if it sounds loud or not. Could have been just higher on the high end, could be deeper in the bass. That could be the reason why the limit light's going off. You want to check that. Also, if you have really bad, poor quality cables, that can cause the light to trigger off early because you're getting a poor signal into the system. Now we're down to input number 2. Yes, right here. So here's where our Bluetooth options are. Everything you need is right here. You're normally just going to use Bluetooth on this gear all the time. For clarity, this little banner right down here is very important. What it's really trying to tell you is that if you have no intention of plugging a microphone or any other piece of equipment in up here on channel number 1, and your intention is just to run this off of Bluetooth, turn both speakers on, have the actual button turned on onto each one, so this way the light's blinking blue, pair off to the speaker that you find first on your phone. That'll then become the right speaker, and then the second speaker will become the left speaker. It's as simple as that. Blue light means one speaker. Once you actually pair off to it and you press the pairing button on the second speaker at the same time, they'll then turn green, and that means both speakers are connected together. TWS, true wireless stereo sound for you. Yes, 2 speakers, 1 phone, stereo sound, as easy as that. You can then choose the option to use a mix out for a subwoofer. Still can do that with these speakers. Very impressive. And that concludes the wrap up of the back of the speaker. Of course, from the rear, you've got handles on the tops, handles on the side. You've got a pole mount on the bottom. Very straightforward. Power in the same place. Everything is literally in the same place. So again, no advantage one over the other. when it comes to the amp play, nor do you have advantages when it comes to power output. The RMS on both speakers are 150 RMS. The peak power is 600 watts for both speakers. Again, only 1 dB different, confirmed by the actual manual.
Why don't you go see your boyfriend?
Yeah, he's got a nice room. You won't have it long. He'll have to call for 7 a.m.
Bad girls make him say wow. 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 I like it, like it. I like it, like it, like it, like that. Bad girls make him say wow. Bad girls make him say wow, wow.
So let's plug the 15-inch now. Take a good listen to it. This way you have an idea of what it sounds like. I'll play a little bit now, then we'll play a lot more at the end, and then you'll be all set. Remember, at this point, you're probably going to see a QR code magically appear because I'm off to one side of the camera. So I'm going to say it's going to happen right over there. QR code telling you that you can get this speaker at places like Guitar Center, Musician's Friend, and some other shops. That magical link right there, it will bring you to the actual Gene's page, which shows you all the places you can go find the speaker. It's really nice. You should try it. Now that's if you're watching it on your TV. If you're watching it on your phone, by all means, just hit the description down below. It will work for you down there. You'll be all set. And if you really want to wait till the end of the video, there'll be a tab that'll bring you straight to where you need to go.
Night shift cutie at the truck stop knows my name. Through the candle in the midnight oil lit up the honky-tonk highway. I see the sun come up, cause I ain't been to bed. Gonna have my name cut into a stone when I lay my head. No rest for the wicked, at least for a few hundred miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried. Six-string ticket and jump that westbound train. I only slowed down long enough to stand up on that stage. Cloud nine is a cloud of dust for the next 1,000 miles. I'm running wild, ride the lightning, run on empty in the ring of fire. Rolling like the Mississippi, oh mama tried, but I got bad down to my bones. Don't know where I'm gonna go, oh sweet child. I'm running wild.
Certainly helps you out with your buying decision. Again, you can't ask me which is better because it really, just like I said before, comes down to how you plan on using it. Because the number one thought process that goes through most people's head when they're shopping for speakers, what size do I get? It's a tough one. But once you understand the why you would buy one over the other, you'll be all set. And if you're somebody who has a drum set and you want to have a speaker behind your chair for rehearsal, I'd get a 12-inch. That would be just awesome to have right behind my chair in my rehearsal space. Again, if you're going rehearsal, go with the 12s. If you're going for big, large open spaces, go for the 15. So for the QR code, it should be back on the screen now. And you also get an opportunity to use the actual description down below. Gets you over to Guitar Center, gets you over to Musician's Friend, and it gets you any other stores that I know that you can get this speaker from. It'll get you somewhere local if you want to go. Well, I hope this video helped you out today in your buying decision. I appreciate you watching today, and I hope to see you on the next one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.